The summer racing season had arrived in Charlotte, bringing crowds, sponsors, and millions of dollars in prize money. Every major racing team in the country prepared for the famous Carolina Challenge, a race offering a staggering $5 million grand prize. Among the polished transport trucks and luxury race trailers, one vehicle attracted laughter instead of attention. It sat on a rusty trailer pulled by an aging pickup truck. Its faded body panels looked patched together from scrap metal collected in junkyards. That car belonged to Daniel Carter. Daniel was a 38-year-old single father, raising his 10-year-old son, Tyler, alone after losing his wife several years earlier. During the day, he repaired engines in a small garage behind his house. At night, he secretly worked on the strange race car. Most people thought it was worthless. Tyler believed otherwise. Every evening after homework, he sat beside his father, handing over tools, while Daniel transformed discarded parts into something extraordinary. They shared a dream that one day the homemade car would prove everyone wrong. When Daniel arrived at the Carolina Challenge registration area, mechanics from professional teams immediately started laughing. Expensive race cars worth hundreds of thousands surrounded the parking lot, while Daniel unloaded what appeared to be a backyard science project. The loudest laughter came from Victoria Sinclair. Victoria was the famous female CEO of Sinclair Performance Racing. Her team dominated professional racing and possessed nearly unlimited resources. Reporters followed her everywhere, and sponsors competed for her attention. The moment she saw Daniel's car, she smiled mockingly. "You actually brought that thing here?" she asked loudly. Several team members laughed. Victoria walked around the homemade vehicle, examining the patched panels and unusual design. To her, it looked ridiculous compared to the polished machines inside her racing trailers. "That belongs in a scrapyard, not a race," she said. Tyler heard every word. His face dropped immediately. Daniel placed a reassuring hand on his son's shoulder and quietly continued preparing the car. Years of struggle taught him that arguing rarely changes people's opinions. Victoria shook her head before walking away. The reporters followed her. Nobody paid attention to Daniel afterward. Race day arrived beneath bright sunshine and packed grandstands. Thousands of spectators filled the speedway, while television crews prepared broadcasts across the country. Most experts predicted Victoria's team would win easily. Daniel qualified near the back. Commentators barely mentioned his name. As engines roared to life, Tyler watched nervously from the pit area. He believed in his father completely, but the competition looked overwhelming. The green flag dropped. Professional teams surged forward aggressively, while Daniel remained patient. His homemade car stayed near the middle of the pack during the early laps. Spectators quickly forgot about him as elite racers battled for position at the front. Then something unexpected happened. One by one, expensive race cars began suffering mechanical problems. Several overheated, others experienced fuel issues. A few retired completely. Meanwhile, Daniel's unusual machine continued running flawlessly. Months earlier, he designed a revolutionary cooling system, using ideas developed during years repairing industrial engines. While wealthy teams focused on horsepower, Daniel focused on reliability. His strategy began paying off. By the halfway point, he entered the top 10. Commentators suddenly noticed. The crowd started paying attention. Victoria watched the timing screens with growing frustration as Daniel climbed higher with every lap. Her engineers checked data repeatedly, unable to understand how the homemade car continued outperforming vehicles costing 50 times more. Tyler could hardly breathe. For years, people mocked the car, hidden behind their house. Now it was passing professional racing machines on national television. With 20 laps remaining, Daniel entered the top 3. The grandstands erupted. Spectators stood cheering every time the strange scrap-built car flashed past the main straightaway. Television cameras followed him constantly as racing fans across America witnessed the unbelievable underdog story unfolding. Victoria's confidence disappeared completely. Her lead driver still held first place, but Daniel was closing rapidly. Lap after lap, the gap shrank. The homemade car seemed almost unstoppable. 5 laps remained. Daniel moved into second place. 3 laps remained. He caught Victoria's lead driver. The entire speedway stood on its feet. Millions watching at home could hardly believe what they were seeing. A single father driving a backyard-built race car was challenging the most powerful racing organization in the country. Then came the final lap. Daniel entered the first turn directly behind Victoria's driver. The crowd roared as both cars accelerated down the backstretch. Tyler screamed from the pit wall. Halfway through the lap, Daniel saw an opening. He committed instantly. His homemade machine surged forward beside the favorite entering the final corner. For several breathtaking seconds, both cars raced side by side toward the finish line. Nobody knew who would win. Then Daniel's innovative engine delivered one final burst of power. The scrap-built car shot ahead. The checkered flag waved. Daniel Carter won. The speedway exploded with noise. Fans jumped from their seats while commentators shouted in disbelief. Against every prediction, every expert opinion, and every expectation, the single father from a backyard garage had won the $5 million race. Tyler ran onto the track crying tears of joy. Daniel climbed from the car and hugged his son tightly as cameras captured the emotional moment. Nearby, Victoria stood speechless. Hours earlier, she laughed at the vehicle. Now it was the most famous race car in America. During the award ceremony, Daniel accepted the $5 million prize while thousands cheered. Reporters asked how he felt after proving everyone wrong. Daniel smiled. "I didn't build this car to impress people," he said. "I built it to show my son that dreams don't need permission from anyone." The crowd applauded loudly. Even Victoria joined them. After the ceremony, she approached Daniel privately and apologized for mocking him. She admitted she judged the car based on appearance instead of understanding the talent hidden beneath it. Daniel accepted the apology gracefully. That evening, as the sun set over the speedway, father and son stood beside the trophy together. The female CEO who laughed at a backyard scrap car learned a lesson she would never forget. Sometimes greatness doesn't arrive inside a luxury trailer. Sometimes it arrives on a rusty trailer behind an old pickup truck and changes everything.